Ladies and gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen of the world, whether you're in the US or you're outside of the US, I just want to say, I hope you're all having a wonderful day. Now, listen, before I talk to the people that are here live and, whoever's going to be joining, I just want to say that if you're currently watching this on the replay after this live is finished, like basically just as a video, thank you so much for watching. If you want to drop a like on this, it would mean the world to me. But for those of you that are here live, and I'm sure many of you will be joining throughout the process of the stream, shout out to my man Neil for being first. Thank you for joining. Gia, very hyped to that comment. My man Slice, dude, man, he was on the other stream, my first ever stream, because this is only my second stream ever. Thank you so much for joining. Listen, how's everyone's day going? Let's start off with just an underhand throw here. Let's start off with a super easy question. How is everyone's day going? Also, I'm not trying to get your address here, but where are you guys from? Where are you guys watching from in the world? And also, what's your credit card information? Well, wait, hold on. I did not mean that. No, but seriously, where are you guys watching from, man? What time is it? Where are you guys? I want to know where you guys are at. You know what I mean? Listen, we're already getting a question from BK. How have you not watched Daredevil? Man, I'm sorry, man. I watched the first season. I just haven't gotten around to it. But listen, we'll talk about that in a minute. But my man, ATSI, this man comments on every one of my videos. Shout out to him. Jake, I see you in the comments, man. Your profile picture is my computer's background, actually. That exact image. Great. That's what I like to hear. Better now that just shout out to Gia, man. Shout out to Gia. Good now. Texas. We got our first location, Texas. I'm probably like a 20-hour drive from Texas, I'm going to be honest. It's going great from Ohio. Nice. They just filmed Superman in Ohio over the summer. No way. You're telling me we have someone from Finland in here? I mean, that's just amazing. 11 p.m., man. Shout out to you. Thank you for making it out here. Florida. Listen, we're in the same time zone. Makes it a bit easier, am I right? I know it's a bit of a weird time, but see, we have people in Finland watching. So I wanted to try to even it out. My other one, I did it like 7 p.m. Eastern time, which I know that for like Europe and stuff, that's like, 2 in the morning. And, I figured let's try to even it out. Maybe some people have some time. I love your videos. You are very positive and delightful to watch. How? Is that how you say this? How? Like HOWHAO? Thank you so much. Thank you. But listen, my name is Alex, by the way. Honestly, that's good to know because I've always just seen this profile picture because you're like my top commenter. I mean, you're like top 3 top commenters. So thank you so much. Seriously, Alex, I will remember that 100%. Appreciate that. I like getting to know some of you guys, You're right. Man, am I ever wrong? Nah, I'm wrong plenty of times. I am wrong plenty of times. I'm on a trip to Miami. What are you doing down there, my friend? What are you doing down there? It's like the Scarface. That's where Scarface takes place. Am I wrong? Am I wrong? Agree. You're so positive, man. Thank you guys. Love your videos, man. I really appreciate you guys. What are the odds that we have 2 Batman profile pictures in the chat right now? 2 people with Batman profile pictures. Batman is very relevant right now. But listen, gonna give it like another minute. What time is it right now? It's 4:05. 4:07. Maybe we'll start doing some movie questions. Maybe if you guys want to start talking about movies, you guys just let me know. My man, Alex. See, look, I already remember this guy's name. I mean, I have like a photographic memory. But listen, Batman is the GOAT superhero. See, Batman is my favorite superhero. I mean, wow, we got some Batman fans in here. I already see some questions popping up. But guys, I just told you guys that at 4:07 we're going to start questions. Now I'm just playing around. But also, I'll just give it just like another 30 seconds. But listen, in all seriousness, I hope that you guys have a great rest of your year. I don't know when my next live is going to be, but listen, for those of you that are in the U.S., happy Thanksgiving, just in case I don't get to see it. For those of you that celebrate, I don't know if there's any Finnish holidays, in Finland, but happy Finnish Thanksgiving to you. Listen, you guys are getting very antsy, and you guys are getting me excited. So I think it's time to start breaking down some of these questions because they're already starting to pile up, and you guys are making me like nervous over here. Let's start all the way at the top, okay? At the top of what I'd consider our first question/comment. Batman is my favorite superhero. Listen, it's a great pick. It's a solid pick. He's had so much content over the past 25 5 years, 30 years, 40 years. You want a sillier Batman, you want a more serious Batman, whatever you want, there's something out there for you. Whether it's the animated stuff, live action stuff, you want Nolan, you want Denny's movie. Oh, no, not Denny. I'm thinking of Dune right now for some reason. You want Matt Reeves, you can get whatever you want. Batman's the GOAT superhero. On that same note, do you play any games? Yes. I'm going to be honest with you. I've played video games all my life, but I'm going to be real. I'm a very mainstream video game person. I'm aware of all the smaller indie games. I've been aware of them. But honestly, at the end of the day, I'm a Call of Duty guy. I play Madden. I play Fortnite. I play Minecraft. I know it's very basic, but those are just my games. But I'm aware of, Baldur's Gate 3, and I don't know. There's just so many other games out there. Elden Ring. Just haven't really gotten around to playing them. I'm just a mainstream game guy, though. Gio with a banger question. I love the really specific questions, man. They always really make me happy. Are you more hyped, I should say? Whoa. For Wicked or Moana 2? After this question, by the way, I just want to say something really quick. That's just kind of funny. Are you more hyped for Wicked or Moana 2? By the way, shout out to all 9 of you that are in the chat right now. I am more hyped personally for Moana 2 for like 2 reasons. First of all, I love the first Moana, so naturally I'm going to be excited for the second one. The second one is because I'm basically like what I just said with Moana. I don't really know anything about Wicked. I've enjoyed the trailers, don't get me wrong, but at the same time, definitely more hyped than Moana 2. But listen, let me try to burn through some of these questions. I'm taking 10 years. Penguin Show is better than the Batman movie. I could completely understand why you would say that. And I actually, to an extent, would even agree with you. However, in my opinion, it's so much easier to rewatch a movie. So I feel like I'm always going to just personally say that the Batman's better, not on purpose necessarily, not because, of the writing, this or that, but I'm just going to naturally rewatch a movie 100 times more than I'm going to rewatch an 8-9 hour show, if that makes sense. Does that make sense? So I would say I just like the Batman better. I personally like it because it's so much easier to rewatch, so much easier to talk about than a show that's like 9 hours, if that makes sense. But guys, I'm getting backed up here. I'm such a yapper, man. I'm such a yapper. My man Walk. Shout out to my roommate Walk. Best and worst recent watch. You know what? Let me take a look at my Letterboxd. Good thing that I have a second monitor up here. If you guys have me on Letterboxd, by the way, be sure to add me. It's in the description of all of my videos. You know what's funny? My best, most recent watch, like one that I've enjoyed, was The Batman. However, I'm going to go with The Sound of Music. I'm not the biggest musical guy in the world. I'm trying to get more into them. But I watched The Sound of Music, and oh my God, I watched that with my girlfriend. Shout out to her for picking it. Phenomenal. 10 out of 10 movie. Unbelievable. Worst, most recent watch? Probably Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them. I love the Harry Potter movies, but I rewatched this movie because I haven't seen it in years. I was like, let me give it a shot. Did not like it in the slightest, personally. Let's take a look at this. Oh, yes, talking about Superman. They filmed it at the museum downtown, right? I saw that. It's actually the inspiration for the original Hall of Justice. So it'll probably be the Hall of Justice in the new movie. It was cool to see the footage on the news. That's awesome, man. That's awesome. So they were filming like literally right in downtown Cleveland, I'm pretty sure, and then like right by the water for the new Superman movie. The Batman is my favorite superhero movie. It better be. With that profile picture, it better be. And I'm going to be honest with you guys. Not that I'm not falling out of love with the MCU. I mean, look at my background. But right now, I've just been so honestly obsessed with The Batman, a movie that came out 2.5 years ago because of the resurgence in popularity it's had because of the Penguin, that I think I could say right now, and of course, this is just a period of time, right? My favorite movies change. My least favorite movies change. But at this point in time, I think The Batman is also my favorite superhero movie. I'm going to be honest. I just watched it for the 5th time. It's my 5th watch. So maybe, maybe I have to watch it 10 times to say it's my favorite. But realistically, it's my 5th watch. I mean, come on. I've seen the movie. I could quote it all day. So The Batman is my favorite Batman movie. Yet you have Christian Bale's Batman as your profile picture. That doesn't match up. That does not add up. By the way, can someone let me know quickly, possibly in the chat, does my audio sound fine? I can't tell because I'm basically just talking to myself here. Thanks, man. No problem. No problem. Howdy. I heard you were on a trip. I was just going to say that. Look, next comment. About to go on a trip, but I hope you're having a good day. Thank you. I hope you are too. Where's the trip to is the real question. Where are you going? I want to hear where everyone's, going on vacation and stuff. Next up here. Probably would have traveled there if it wasn't closed off. Yes, I saw that. But I couldn't really see anything, so I didn't. Yeah, I get that. Still super cool to see set footage on the news, though. Also filmed at this long tunnel. Very, very interesting. I'm going to be honest. If I was you, I would have probably been dying to go there. But at the end of the day, I don't want to spoil anything for myself. I know that you could see everything online, of course, but I wouldn't have been, I would have been very like, do I really want to go? Do I not? But I could see James Gunn there. Maybe get a picture with him. That would be pretty cool. Subscribe to me, Neil. If I remember, I will after this. Don't worry. You know, I'm not afraid to. Arkham games are so good. I've played one Arkham game. Let me use my trusty computer. Arkham Batman games. I have played one because it was on sale. I played Arkham Asylum, I believe is the name. I believe it's called Arkham Asylum. I might just be making that up. Yes, Batman Arkham Asylum. That's the game that I played. Phenomenal game. I really enjoyed it. It was a very quick playthrough. I feel like I beat the whole game in like maybe 6 hours, but it was really fun. I saw that rating for Deadpool and Wolverine. Oh, I saw that your rating for Deadpool and Wolverine went down on Letterboxd. Main reason. Guys, the past couple of nights, I haven't been able to sleep. I've been tossing and turning. Nah, I'm just being dramatic, of course. When I first saw Deadpool and Wolverine, I watched it twice opening weekend. On my channel, I probably have 10 to 15 videos from January 2024 leading up to that video just about Deadpool and Wolverine, whether it's news, rumors, this, leaks, whatever. Super hyped for it. My most anticipated film of the year. When I watched it, honestly, it wasn't the 10 out of 10 that I thought it would be, but that's okay because not everything can be. I gave it a 4 out of 5, 8 out of 10. I thought it was really solid, really good. Watched it again. Super cool, right? That opening weekend, all the hype. I saw it with some people that I know. So like my cousin I went to go see it with. He thought it was awesome. He's not like the biggest superhero fan either. He thought it was cool. But then it sat with me. And I was just thinking, you know, as funny as this movie is, as fourth wall breaking as it is, as bloody as it is, as crazy as it is, as good as the cameos are, I can't get over the story and how bad it is. And listen, if you believe otherwise, is my connection good right now? Sorry, it's giving me like a little notification. If you guys could still hear what I'm saying, please comment something like right now. Because it's saying that I'm like disconnected, but maybe I'm not. Would be super clutch. Can you guys hear what I'm saying right now? Okay, all good. Sorry, I'll continue. But like I was saying, hold on, I gotta scroll all the way up because I'm super behind. And I'm gonna be speeding through some of these other questions. I can't get over the story. I just don't think that Deadpool and Wolverine has that good of a story. There's a lot of plot holes. Like, I just don't know why, like, the main guy, you know, Mr. Paradox, was like trying to even get the Time Ripper to like speed things up. When you watch the movie back, it doesn't make sense. The Happy Hogan scene in the beginning when he's talking about how he wants to do this for Vanessa, how he wants to be an Avenger, they pretty much never mention the Avengers thing the rest of the movie for the most part. And with the Vanessa thing, she says this one line in the beginning of the movie that rattles my brain and it bothers me to no end. She says, well, you know, I'm dating this new guy, which is fine. I get it. They've moved on. And she's like, and, you know, I haven't gotten shot being with him or something along those lines. And I'm like, he was trying to save you. Wade has done nothing but tried to save you, but you're mad at him because, oh, you know, I got shot by that. That's not good character development. Now Vanessa was basically pushed to the side, and then by the end of the movie, we don't even see what happens with the relationship. You know, I could go into deeper analysis, but we'll just move on. They're mainstream because they're good. Can't say I disagree. Some games like Madden I think are horrible, even though I still play it every single year, but I agree. Breath of the Wild, Zelda fan. I've never played before. I'm sorry. Did you watch Arcane 2? It's beautiful. I have not because I've not seen Arcane 1. It's a show that, since it's on the shorter end, maybe I'll check out one day. I'm more of a movie guy, though, at the end of the day. Honestly, I don't really watch too many shows, but a shorter show like that, I'm definitely interested in checking out. I'm so happy, Jake, that you just brought this up. Burn, Keep, Watch. For those of you that don't know, this is kind of like F, Marry, Kill, where it's like, you know, you kill one movie, you marry one, and it's like, you know what I'm saying? So what movie am I going to burn? What movie am I going to watch once? And then what am I going to keep? Like, what's my favorite? The Batman Guardians 1 Across the Spider-Verse. I was so caught up on explaining the rules of this little game that I didn't process what movies you just gave me. And now that I'm reading them, I almost want to kill you. Right now, you know what I'm going to say? I think I know my answer, and it sucks to say this. I'm going to burn Across the Spider-Verse. I think Across the Spider-Verse is 10 out of 10 unbelievable. But since we don't know where the story's going, I don't know if I could keep it right now or watch it. The Batman I am keeping, and I'm going to watch Guardians 1. So we're going to burn Spider-Verse starting from worst to best. We're going to watch Guardians 1, and we're going to keep the Batman because the Batman is just in such a good place in my mind right now. Agree. I'm going to be honest. Since I'm so behind, I forgot what this is even about. So I gotta keep moving. I watched the Batman again today, and it's peak every time. Well, since it's like 11:30 in Finland, I'm sure that you watched it earlier on, and I'm happy that you enjoyed it. It's just so good. I'll add you later. That's what I like to hear. Who should be the villain of the Batman 2? In my opinion, there's only one answer to keep it relatively grounded without getting too crazy. A lot of people are saying Mr. Freeze, but I think the Penguin perfectly set up the Court of Owls. I watched the Batman animated movie, and I've barely watched any Batman animated films. I think this is the only one I've watched. I think it was called like Batman and Robin, and the villain was the Court of Owls, and I was blown away because I didn't know anything about them beforehand. Guys, look into them, read up on them, maybe look at a comic, maybe watch the Batman and Robin movie with the Court of Owls. They're very cool. They're very corrupt, and that's what this whole saga has basically been about. Corruption and, lies and conspiracy. That's what the Court of Owls is. I feel like they're building up to it. Yes. Again, I'm behind. I'm just forgetting. What's your favorite music artist? Good God. I'm going to be honest with you. I used to be super diehard into music, like from 2016 to like 2021. And I've just fallen off because I fell in love with movies. And I know they're not directly correlated, but at the end of the day, I don't really care about what comes out anymore because I feel like the quality's declined. At one point, it's basic again. I was a Travis Scott Drake guy. I was a Cardi guy. I love, who else do I love? I don't know. Blink 182 I'm a big fan of right now. I'm honestly very spread out. I've had so many phases. I've had so many this, that. Right now, though, I'm kind of feeling Metallica right now. And I know that I was just talking about Drake and Travis Scott. Now I'm talking about Metallica. Don't even ask me, man, because at this point, I'm just bouncing around all over the place. But Metallica, I've been feeling, man. Master of Puppets is just such a great song. The Batman is my second favorite superhero movie. What is your first? That's the real question. If you could get one of these, see, I love a good deep question like this. If you could only get one of these sequels, which would you choose? Cap 4 with Chris Evans, okay. Harry Potter requel with the original cast, interesting, or the Batman 2 and 3 tomorrow. I'm going to be honest with you. You were on a good track until the third answer, because my answer is going to be the Batman 2 and 3 tomorrow, and only for one reason. The first two, I feel like, are kind of controversial. It's like, oh, we're bringing back old characters. Whereas the third one, you're basically telling me you could have your most anticipated projects for the next decade right now. I'm going to choose that. I'm going to choose it 10 out of 10 times. I'm sorry. But out of those other two, I think I would choose the Harry Potter requel only because Chris Evans is dead in the MCU. Whoa. In the MCU. God bless him. I hope him nothing but the best for his health and stuff. However, in the MCU, Steve Rogers, I should say, is dead. It would be kind of awkward. I feel like that time has passed. But even in the MCU, even if he didn't die, I don't know if I'd really want that, honestly. Fifth watch, same. I'm happy that we're on the same thing. Pizza King. The king of pizza. Wow, I'm 9 minutes behind. Thank you. But listen, audio is good. Yep, we're behind. Arkham Knight is my personal favorite. I've got to check it out. Arkham Knight, best gameplay. And the city has the best story. I know that's the one that's in the city. Yes, I need to check that out. I know it has like Man-Bat in it and stuff. Just checking some other stuff out. Trying to move down this list. I always played the Ben Affleck Batman suit in Arkham Knight. It works so good. Wow. The Ben Affleck suit, huh? I'm going to be honest. I'm a pretty big fan of it. I'm pretty sure that was like a DLC or something, right? Everything's good, okay? Hold up. I'm just moving down the list. Everything's good. Thank you for letting me know. The Batman logo I have from a comedian. Trying to remember what this is about. I'm sorry. I'm like 5 minutes behind, man. I'm gonna catch up. Let me speed things up here. Haven't watched Cobra Kai Part 2 yet, have you? I have not watched Cobra Kai Part 2, Part 1 either, or Season 5, Season 4, Season 3, Season 2, or Season 1. I've never seen Cobra Kai. I'm sorry. But The Karate Kid is a 10 out of 10 movie, and I'm going to be potentially watching it sometime soon because the new one comes out next year. Deadpool and Wolverine was funny, but them making fun of itself exactly didn't save the movie. Correct. If I feel like they fell into the traps that they were making fun of. They're like, these other MCU movies, right? They're not as good, right? We're at a bit of a low point in the MCU. That's a direct line. But I'm sitting here thinking, you guys are making the same mistakes. There's not a good story in this movie. Like, and don't get me wrong, I enjoy the film. I enjoy it. But they're making the same mistakes. It's almost hypocritical. Is that crazy to say? Are you going to finish Daredevil before the new show comes out? So like I mentioned before, I watched the first season. I honestly don't really remember it. I enjoyed it. So I'm basically going to just be watching it like for the first time because it's been so long. So I'm going to rewatch the first season, then watch season 2, season 3. Probably start like in December because the show's not coming out it's coming out pretty soon, I should say. So yeah, I'm going to be finishing it. But basically, I guess you could say just watching it for the first time. But yeah. My man Pip, my best friend, is in the chat now. Goodfellas or La La Land? Listen, Goodfellas is a much more important movie to my life, 100%. My dad loves this movie. I can quote it all day. I've seen it much more than La La Land. At this point in time, I actually haven't seen Goodfellas in like 3 years, which for me is pretty crazy because I remember I watched it fall 2021. I'm going to be honest, right now, and this is honestly sacrilegious to even be saying, I'm in love with La La Land more. I'm going to be honest. I can't even believe I'm saying that. However, Scorsese is basically my favorite director. Goodfellas is a top 10 favorite film of mine ever. Maybe top 5. Love it to death. Right now, I'm feeling La La Land more, but Goodfellas all time I would pick, if that makes sense. I want Professor Pig or Court of Owls. Yes, I heard some rumors about Professor Pig as well. There's been so many rumors. Oh, they're villains of the Gotham Knight TV show. Okay. Hot take. No Way Home for me isn't even top 10 in the... Wait, No Way Home for me isn't even a top 10 MCU movie. No Way Home literally followed the same exact path as Deadpool and Wolverine for me. Well, I know that one came out before the other, but they both went down the same path for me. That's what I even wrote in my Letterboxd review. I watched them. I was super hyped. I was satisfied in the theater because that was the whole point, right? Let's get excited because the cameos showed up, and I was super hyped. But now when I watch No Way Home, the story isn't that good. Curing the villains doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. How are they going to get back to their universe? Are they going to get killed the second they get back? Logistically, it makes no sense. The curse, Peter asking Doctor Strange if he could basically get admitted to college. What are we doing here? It doesn't make any sense. It really doesn't. I'm sorry. Red Hot Chili Peppers. See, my friend, he's bringing up another musical phase of my life. Yes, I enjoyed Red Hot Chili Peppers heavily for like 18 months, and then I just kind of fell off. Kanye the GOAT. I had a huge Kanye phase as well. He has some great albums. My first is Into the Spider-Verse. Super respectable choice. Speaking of Into the Spider-Verse, my friend that I was just talking about, Pip, we watched it together for the first time. He told me this was like 2020. Okay, this was 2020. I was not into superhero movies, believe it or not, like 4 short years ago. I know that sounds kind of crazy because now I feel like I don't know what I don't know at this point. He said, I want to show you this movie. And I was like, oh, what is it? He's like, it's this animated Spider-Man movie. And we watched it, and I loved it. So he actually showed me that movie before I was even into superhero movies. And I was like, wow, superhero movies actually might be pretty good. Then I checked out the MCU, and it was all downhill from there, to say the least. What are your top 4 favorite superhero movies in no order? See, I love when you guys ask me questions, but also I hate when you guys ask me the tough ones, right? It's so easy when you guys give me a layup, but when you're asking me things like this, I'm going to start off with the Batman. It's been a very Batman-heavy episode today. I mean, a very Batman-heavy live stream here. The Batman. I want to show some respect to Across the Spider-Verse and throw it in there. I'm going to say Across the Spider-Verse. But then I think, right, and just to list some out that would fill out the list. Spider-Man 1 with Tobey Maguire. Spider-Man 2, Across the Spider-Verse, Into the Spider-Verse, right? Guardians 1, Endgame, Winter Soldier. It's tough to pick. Obviously, though, I'm not going to choose more than one Spider-Man movie. But just to kind of restart here, I'm going to go The Batman. I'm going to go Spider-Man 1. I'm going to go Winter Soldier. I'm trying to go for like different vibes here. And I'm going to go, I want to say Endgame. I feel like a lot of people think that Endgame has a bad story like No Way Home and like Deadpool and Wolverine, but I actually think it has a really good story. It basically has like the same fun effect and the same wow effect from like cameos, even though it's just the characters that we know from the Portal scene, except it actually has like a good story. So I don't know. I think the time travel makes sense too. There is so much pressure on Superman to so much pressure. I honestly can't read, guys. Guys, I can't read. I'm sorry. There is so much pressure on Superman movie to be good. Okay, to be fair. Oh no, this Superman movie. God, guys, I think I might be dyslexic. I don't know what's wrong with me. I literally could not agree more. DC is going to be in a lot of trouble if this movie isn't good. And listen, a lot of people are saying, yeah, but they have the Batman Part 2 out. They still have millions of dollars, right? More than you and me both got, right? But there's a lot of pressure on them. There's a ton of pressure on the rest of this universe that they have coming out. I mean, it's crazy how much pressure is on this film. The entire DCU failed for a reason. Thoughts on public domain horror movies? There's a Popeye and Little Mermaid. Yep, I saw that one coming out soon, and it's such a fascinating anomaly to me. Oh, I can read now. I can read big boy words. Listen, at the end of the day, and I don't want to give you like a boring answer, but it's kind of one of these things where I'm just like, I don't care. And I don't mean that disrespectfully towards the filmmakers. Oh, we have 12 people in here. That's a new high. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much for watching. But when I see that there's a, what's it called? Not Rudolph, Bambi horror movie coming out and a Pinocchio horror movie coming out, I'm already not really a horror fan. I just don't really care, personally. I think that now that it's public domain, honestly, good for them, though, that they're making these because the rights are out there. So I'd say a company shouldn't, if they don't own something, why can't I use it, right? So I actually give them some credit, especially that this universe, they've kind of been building it up, like, give them some creative credit, I guess. So seems pretty cool. Favorite film of all time? I am so tempted because I'm in such a mood right now to just rip off The Batman. But is that really my favorite film of all time? Like at this point in time, at this, again, like I said, era of my life, even if an era is just like 3 months, yeah, it's my favorite film of all time right now. But how could I not say? I mean, let me take a look at my Letterboxd, right? Because we got the second monitor. Let's put this thing to work. My top 4 on Letterboxd right now. Just again, these are kind of more temporarily things I'm feeling. The Batman, La La Land, Dune Part 1, Jurassic Park. I could say Jurassic Park's my favorite film of all time as well. And I'm very excited for the Jurassic Park movie that's coming out next year. And I will not apologize. I know that they've been bad, but I don't care. I love this franchise, even though I know it's bad. You asked me why my favorite Batman movie is The Batman if my logo is Christian Bale, because there is a funny comedian that makes fun of Batman. I'd love to hear what comedian, because I am a comedian fan. I'm praying that Spider-Man 4 is going to be Spider-Man and Daredevil teaming up against Kingpin. That seems pretty cool to me. I wish that they just didn't introduce, and it's really not a big deal, but I wish they didn't introduce Daredevil already in Echo and She-Hulk, because it's like, why even tease him lightly? Why not just save him and then just launch him in a fresh new show? Also, I wish that Marvel would just put their big boy pants on and just announce, hey, this is connected to Daredevil season 1, 2, and 3, or announce, hey, this is a new thing. They're being so unclear about it, and honestly, it's frustrating. I understand that there's reports saying, well, no, actually it is. And then there's other reports saying, well, I don't know, they're going to kind of hint towards the other seasons. Why doesn't Marvel just say, hey, everyone, official, this is connected to Daredevil season 1, 2, and 3? I wish they would just do that, but it's like they're dancing around it. Is Punisher canon, or is this a new Punisher? It doesn't make sense. And I know that a lot of you are probably going to say, no, it is continuing because there's been reports and rumors, but I need Marvel to just make it clear. They're not. I don't know why they're dancing around it. On second watch, No Way Home was mid. I get it. I'm with you. Honestly, my mouth is so dry. See, I put you on. He did put me on to Spider-Verse. That's what we were talking about before. Just give me one sec, guys. Let's get a little water going on here. Delicious. Oh my God, I needed that so bad. My favorite movie is Seven Samurai. Is that Kurosawa? I may be wrong. Phenomenal film. Apparently, I've not seen it. I know it's like a 4-hour-long movie. One day I'm going to find the time for it. One day I'm going to find the time, but that's just not right now. Thoughts on the Scarecrow Easter egg in the Penguin? I think I'm the only person on the internet that doesn't think it's the Scarecrow hand or the Scarecrow mask. I don't think it is, because I feel like they're not even finished. Well, they just confirmed actually today. I don't know if you guys saw on Twitter. Matt Reeves said or something, some report, the Batman 2 script isn't even finished. I don't know why you would tease something in a show if you're not fully committed to it or you don't have a plan, especially because James Gunn and Matt Reeves are so heavy on preparation and on not rushing things. There's no real reason to tease something like that, I feel like. If they wanted to make Scarecrow, they'd just make it. By the way, just a quick reminder, thank you guys so much for just, watching. Thank you so much for being here. Hello, new viewer. I like Endgame, but I don't love it. I get it. I get how some people could say maybe the first hour or even 2 is slow out of a 3-hour movie. I get it. Are you excited for Creature Commandos? I actually think it looks great. Yes, to answer your question, and apparently it is great. I've been seeing reports from people that actually have seen the whole show already, and it seems like it's really good. Apparently it fleshes out this universe, we're going to be understanding what's going on in the DCU. And I know it's very short. I think it's 7 episodes, half hour each, but I'm okay with that. Why can't we just have a short little show like that? I like it. Will Doomsday be a game changer for Marvel? Am I being an idiot, or is Doomsday a DC character? Oh, wait, no. I'm thinking of Darkseid. No, Doomsday, of course, the X-Men, Oscar Isaac. If they want to introduce him in a future X-Men movie, potentially. Did you see Ghostface is getting added to Mortal Kombat? Yes, I did. That looked very cool. I saw they had the double sort of meta kill. What's it called when they say finish him? Fatality. Looked pretty awesome. Doom Part 2, in my opinion, is the greatest sci-fi film ever. I can't go against you on that. A lot of people will say, oh, recency bias. It's because it just came out. No. It's been a couple of months now. I think that people have watched it time and time again. It's one of the all-time greats already, and as time goes on, it will only age better and better. I will upload soon. I'm excited to see what you throw up there. Are you going to watch Doom Prophecy tonight? I was talking about this with my friends 3 days ago. We were watching Thursday Night Football. There was a commercial for Doom Prophecy. It said November 17th. I was like, wow, that comes out in a month. And then I blink and I'm like, wait a second. And then I look at the date. It's November 14th. I'm like, oh my God, time is just flying. That comes out this Sunday. Am I going to watch it? Yes. And you actually just reminded me that it's coming out tonight. I'm definitely going to be checking it out. I saw some mixed early reviews, but the more Dune, the better. I enjoy this universe. I'm sure that I'll like it. I'll probably review it for sure if I do end up watching it. It would be awesome if you could do YouTube Shorts on your channel. I've always debated making a TikTok, but honestly, I'm just not a very TikTok-oriented person. I don't even have it, honestly. I have Instagram, Twitter, Letterboxd, all everything that you could name. I'm stuttering over here. But, just not really for me. Maybe one day. I know it could probably honestly help my channel grow a little bit more, but I don't know. I just prefer videos. Straight vodka in that red Solo cup. Dude. You absolutely exposed me. I actually I'm looking at a bottle right now. I have it sitting there. Across my room. I think Hush is going to be the villain of the Batman 2. He was teased in the first Batman. There is during the Riddler's monologue sort of when he's talking about in the news report Martha Wayne. There is a thing that says Hush because the reporter got silenced. That's a potential tease, man. That's a potential tease. Okay, I'm actually almost caught up. Yes, it's Akira Kurosawa, and it's a little over 3 hours long. Okay. I think I'm thinking of – what am I thinking of? There's a Kurosawa movie that I know is 4 hours long. Is it the extended cut maybe? I might just be thinking of that, but I'll check it out because I've been watching some pretty long films recently. Like I mentioned earlier in the stream, for those of you that were here, I already said I watched The Batman just the other day, but I also watched The Sound of Music, which is another 3-hour film. So I've been on a bit of a longer movie kick. About to watch. Listen, I've been seeing this movie all over Twitter, but I actually don't know how to say it. Is it Heretic or Heretic? I don't know how to say it because I've seen a bunch of trailers. I've seen a bunch of promotion, but I never listened to anyone say it. I've just been reading it. But I'm just going to say about to watch The Heretic or Heretic. I don't know. Big fan from the UK. Man, shout out to you guys. Shout out to all you guys. My blokes over there. Blokes, that's not an offensive term, right? That's just what you call your friend, right? You have to confirm me. I'm pretty sure it means bro, right? Might be wrong. Are you excited for Invincible Season 3? I'm going to be honest. No. This is probably one of my hottest takes. And I'm not like willing to die on the hill of it because I just don't even care. I watched the first season of Invincible and I just didn't like it. I don't know why. I watched the first season and I just didn't like it. I just don't think it was for me. I'm not a big animated person on the show side of things. Don't get me wrong. I'm excited for Creature Commandos. I don't know, man. It wasn't for me. And I know it might sound crazy to you, but yeah. Are you going to review Red One? Man, I was planning on it, but then instead I made my most recent video because I feel like people would care a lot more about my my comic book show rankings realistically over a Red One review. And I was like, do I really want to go to the theaters to watch a movie that I know is going to be on a incredible day, 5 out of 10 or 6 out of 10? I don't know. I really don't know. Doomsday is also a Superman villain, right? From BVS. Wait, Doomsday. Oh, okay, no, that's what I was thinking of then. Yes, that's what I was thinking of. There is a Doomsday in DC, and there is a Doomsday in... Wait a second. Who did Oscar Isaac play in X-Men Apocalypse? Oscar Isaac, X-Men Apocalypse. Oscar Isaac... Oh, he played Apocalypse. Of course, in X-Men Apocalypse, he played Apocalypse. Because Doomsday and Apocalypse are both like end-of-the-world types of events. So that's what I was thinking there. I think he meant Avengers Doomsday, the movie between Secret Wars. What am I doing, man? I'm fumbling. Of course he did. You know, if he asks the question again, I will respond differently. But I'm just going to keep moving down the chat. Have you ever thought about getting into the comics? For about a month, I did. At one point in my life, maybe about 2 years ago, I was like, I'm just going to buy a couple comics. I'm honestly just not really a reader. I know that makes me sound a little bit stupid, and as you guys can see, I'm like fumbling these questions. Not really a big reader, honestly. Thoughts on Kevin Smith as a director? I'm aware of who Kevin Smith is, but since I've got my handy-dandy computer, let's look at his filmography, just so that I'm not missing anything. And we're going to look at him as a director. I don't think I've really seen anything that he's directed, honestly. I haven't seen Clerks. I haven't seen Tusk. I'm familiar with his work. But honestly, I haven't seen him. He's a funny guy, though. I've seen him like in some stuff. But yeah, he's definitely a funny guy. But I haven't really seen anything that he has directed, honestly. I'm going to go to sleep. I have an English exam tomorrow. Love your videos, man. Alex, best of luck. I hope that you guys do well. Heretic. Right. Heretic. Okay. Thank you. Like heretic. Okay. I got you. The Dark Knight or Dune Part 2. It would be unfair for me just right now at this point in time to not say The Dark Knight, only because I've only seen Dune Part 2 once. I don't even know how. I still have to rewatch it. It's on Max. I have no excuse. But again, 3-hour-long movie. Got to try to find time for it. The Dark Knight, though, I've seen so many times. So at this point in time, I'll say The Dark Knight. However, with one more watch, honestly, I could say Dune Part 2. I'm going to be real. But I love The Dark Knight. Favorite and least favorite movie of the year so far. Dune Part 2 is your favorite. Borderlands is your least favorite. Speaking of Letterboxd, I'm sorry. I feel like I'm cheating. I'm not trying to plug my Letterboxd. It honestly just makes it easier for me to look at, to be completely honest with you. So my favorite movie of the year, I know what my favorite movie of the year is. I'm going to be honest. And I don't want to spoil it because, of course, I got my top 10 coming out. But it's going to be Dune Part 2 as of right now. It's my favorite movie of the year. My least favorite movie of the year, believe it or not, it's actually not Madam Web. I've seen 39 films this year, just from 2024. It's Unfrosted, the Jerry Seinfeld Netflix film. It's so bad, guys. It's so bad. It's horrible. Okay. We're talking about Doomsday, the Avengers movie now. We've made that clear. I don't know why I was thinking of something else. I feel like Doomsday and Secret Wars, of course, will be just cameos, and they think that will save the movie. Listen, cameos are a very, very slippery slope. That's the best way to describe it. The second that you start treading into the cameo territory, I don't know why I got an accent there for some reason, territory, it's a slippery slope. You start to fall down, and you can't climb your way back out. That's what Marvel has done, unfortunately. With No Way Home, it was very exciting, right? With Deadpool and Wolverine, right? The hype was based off of cameos. I'm telling you, I don't think that Doomsday is going to be super cameo heavy, but Secret Wars, I'm telling you, the internet is going to be a nightmare because it's going to be a matter of not who's showing up. It's going to be a matter of who is not showing up. Hugh Jackman, they're going to put in there. Tobey Maguire at like 60 years old at this point is going to show up just to say, hey guys, just to please fans. And they're not going to have a good story, I have a feeling. I just have a feeling, honestly. Who's your favorite Ghostface killer and why is it Stu? Why would you assume that it's Stu? That's interesting. I haven't thought about that. I actually made a Scream ranking, not sure if you saw recently, so I actually have seen all of them now. I am going to say, because we got Billy Loomis, we've got Stu. In the second movie, we've got Billy's mom, and then like the other kid played by, what's his name? Matthew Olympic. I forgot his name, but I'm blanking. Scream 3, it's okay. I think I'm going to say the most shocking one to me personally was actually Billy's mom in Scream 2. But I think I do like Billy Loomis. I mean, Billy Loomis is pretty cool. But of course, once you watch a reveal multiple times, it gets a little bit like, you know? But when I found out that was, what's his name? Billy Loomis's mom, I was like, what the hell? Because I didn't know that. I never got it spoiled for me. Have you watched We Are the Millers? It's my favorite comedy movie of all time. Yes, I have. It's a pretty stacked cast. You've got Jennifer Aniston. I was trying to think of the name. You've got, speaking of Scream, because of Scream form, you've got Emma Roberts. Is that her name? Am I just completely Emma Roberts? Yes, Emma Roberts. What am I saying? You've got Emma Roberts in there. The guy who plays Ted Lasso, is that Jason Sudeikis, right? I don't know why I'm going through the whole cast here, but yeah, I really enjoy the movie. It's pretty enjoyable. I don't love it, honestly. Like, for me personally, it's not like a top, I don't even know if it's like a top 20 comedy movie for me, but it's an enjoyable watch. Who's your favorite Batman villain? See, again, very movie-oriented guy, so I'm going to go just based off the movies. But just to be clear, really like the Court of Owls from the one thing that I've seen. It's honestly not the Joker. I enjoy the Joker 100%, but the Joker movie kind of just put a bad taste in my mouth. I don't love the first one either necessarily. Joker 2, I should say. I didn't put a bad taste in my mouth. But let me think about that while I take a sip of water. I really badly, and I know I don't mean to beat a dead horse here, I really badly want to say the Riddler from the Batman because he's so creepy, and Paul Dano is just such a madman with that performance, like a man possessed with that performance. I mean, you want to talk about someone just giving their all. I know that he's not the coolest villain, but I love him. You could even say Penguin, technically. But yeah, kind of thinking maybe the Penguin, honestly. Maybe the Penguin, I'd say. Let's see what else. Have you seen The Crow 2024? It's horrible. No. I instead of seeing The Crow because it came out at the same time, I went to go see Borderlands, which was also horrible. My worst movie of the year so far is The Strangers Chapter 1. This is a movie that I saw being pretty hyped up before it came out, maybe a couple months before it came out. I know this came out maybe like spring or early summer. I forgot when it came out. I'm pretty sure spring. And I heard it was bad, so I had no interest in seeing it. And again, just saying I'm not a horror guy. Not a horrible guy. I hope I'm not a horrible guy. Quite ambitious. The first video I'm making is my top 100 favorite movies of all time. Even if you gave each movie 1 minute, you're looking at an hour and 40-minute video. If I could do math, yes. Good luck editing that. But seriously, hey, if you do, maybe I'll check it out. Let's see. Let's take a look at this next one from my man Slice, dude. Shout out to him, man. I still just love that little profile picture you got there. I just got a notification that in Hong Kong McDonald's, they're going to have a Dragon Ball collab with these fried donut balls, and they look really good. Listen, you're telling me that something's fried and it involves donuts? I'm there. I'm not really a Dragon Ball fan. I don't dislike it by any means. I just have never really been exposed to it. Don't really know much about it. But that sounds delicious. I like that McDonald's has like a different menu across the world. It's honestly pretty cool. What is a movie that you don't like that everyone else loves? To stay on par with what we've been talking about this entire stream, just to be clear, well, not just to be clear, I don't know why I'm saying that. My first stream, for some reason, kind of snowballed into being very horror-oriented. I don't know why. I'm not even a horror fan. We were talking about Scream, Halloween, because it was kind of close to Halloween. This one, for some reason, this stream is very Batman-oriented. So I feel like accidentally every stream I do, it just ends up being themed somehow. Speaking of, what is a movie that you don't like that everyone else loves? The Dark Knight Rises. I honestly borderline hate that movie. And I know it might sound crazy to some of you. Nolan, I'm a bit lower on than everyone else. I still love Nolan. Like I would still say I love Nolan, but I'm still a little bit lower on him. than everyone else. I think it was just a miss from him. I think it was him trying to do too much. Are you more excited for Wicked or Gladiator 2? I can't wait to see both next week, but I'm slightly more excited for Wicked. Hey, man, I'm happy to hear that, man. I've been on like a bit of a musical kick, honestly, so I can see why you'd say that, man. Wicked, highly respected musical. Never got around to seeing it at Broadway, even though maybe I should one day. Just to give you guys like a quick ranking of like, I guess you could say the 3 Thanksgiving films that we got coming out, which is Wicked, Gladiator 2, and Moana 2. Those are all the big hitters. I am going to say that I would rank them Wicked last, but I'm still pretty excited for it. Then Gladiator 2 second. Then I would say Moana 2 at the top spot. Moana 2 and Gladiator 2 are pretty tied because I just watched Gladiator for the first time and I was taken back. So now I'm very excited. However, that's my ranking for now. What's your hottest take on a movie? What's your hottest take on a movie? I'm going to just say a take just while I think, just generally. I'm going to say a take that I have about movies, and then I'll say a hot take about a movie. I think that one of the worst things that you could do or that you could try to do once you've watched a film is rate it, like with a number. Now, with that being said, I love rating movies. That's why I have Letterboxd, because I enjoy like saying, yeah, this is a 7 out of 10, logging the movie. I like talking about it. Oh, you thought this movie was an 8 out of 10? I thought it was a 7. But at the end of the day, I actually think that giving a movie a number makes it just harder to process, to be honest with you. However, it definitely makes discussions easier. You could say that you like or dislike a movie. I think that's fine. But I'm saying one of my hottest takes would be, I think that it's actually pretty bad to like rate movies based off numbers. However, I still love doing it. I don't know if that makes sense. That would be like my hottest movie. I don't really have like a movie take off the top of my head. I'd honestly have to look. If you want a quick one, just while I'm glancing over at my screen, I thought that Venom: The Last Dance was literally like a 2 out of 10 film. I don't think that's really a hot take. I know that some people, it was like a 6 out of 10, a 5 out of 10. I think that Venom was literally like close to a 1 out of 10 movie. Venom: The Last Dance. That's like the hot take that I could think of right now, though. I don't even know what my top 100 movies of all time is. I tried to make a list on Letterboxd one time, spent like 40 minutes, literally, and then I just gave up. I was getting too much in my head, and I was like, oh, if I've only seen a movie one time, can it be in my top 100? I was getting, too into it. It's definitely not going to be an hour. I'm going to try to make it at least 20 minutes. You're going to have to be rushing through those, man. I wish you the best of luck. Jake, you've been very friendly with me all stream, and then you come out here and expose me. The one big glaring hole in my Nolan filmography is Interstellar, because I'm going to admit it right now. I have not seen Interstellar. And I will watch it at some point, but I have not. And I'm sorry. I'm very sorry for that, but I will at some point. Actually, it's coming out in theaters. Like maybe I'll watch it in theaters. Sorry, this is just loading really quick. A movie I'm not the biggest fan of that people love is Seven. I think it's a bit overrated in my opinion. You know what's funny that you say this? I watched Seven like 3 years ago for the first time. I thought it was awesome, 9 out of 10. The more that I think about it, the less I like it slightly. Like I think, like I gave it like a 9, right? I was almost on a 10. I was like, wow, that was just so great. Just so phenomenal. But the more that I think about it, the more I'm like, maybe it was like an 8, if that makes sense. I think it's like the reveal is kind of like towards the end, what's in the box. Classic, of course, but I don't know. And I love Brad Pitt. I think David Fincher, I'm not really the biggest fan of him, to be honest with you, but yeah, I could see why you'd think that, honestly. Like, I'm not really like, oh, what are you talking about, I know what you mean. It's kind of hard for me to enjoy a movie as much as I'm watching it because I'm constantly trying to comprehend my thoughts and review as I watch it. Yes. And listen, I'm not trying to say that for me it's like harder, but obviously since I know I'm going to be recording a video, editing a video, then posting my thoughts online, on YouTube, and on Letterboxd, I'm always overthinking it. It honestly kind of sucks. It like kind of ruins the way that your brain thinks, but that's just how it is because I'm the same way. Trust me, when I'm watching a movie, I'm like, oh, is this a 3-star or is it a 3.5 out of 5? Like, I'm debating back and forth, and it does kind of hurt it a bit. But also, it kind of just gets like your creative thoughts flowing. Like, oh, I really like actually how this has been paced so far. Oh, you know what? I really like how the cinematography's looked up to this point. The lighting looks great. Like, it makes you think about it a bit more analytically the more that you know about film, I'd argue as well. So I don't think it's necessarily a complete bad thing. Back to the basics. What's your favorite Pixar movie? My 1A, 1B, and I really can't choose one necessarily, except I kind of do have a favorite, is going to be Ratatouille and Toy Story 3. I think Ratatouille will forever, deep down in my heart, be my number one favorite Pixar film. However, Toy Story 3 I recently rewatched for the first time in like a good amount of time, and I just loved it. I absolutely adored it. It took me a while to watch Interstellar 2, man. I'm happy. I'm very, very, very happy. Plot twist, Sentry's the bad guy, the Thunderbolts. He might be. He might end up being. I know they have like Bob in the trailers, but it's obvious that he's Sentry. You got Lewis Pullman, I believe is his name, the guy playing him. For me, it's Toy Story 3. Basically, we have the same opinion. I mean, yeah, for me, it's basically both. What's the worst and best performance you've ever seen in a movie? I'm trying to think of best and worst right now, or at least some of my favorites. My favorite actor may be Leonardo DiCaprio, potentially. So I'm kind of going to him. I go to him. See, saying best and worst, it's tough. Best, it would be tough not to say like Heath Ledger's Joker. You know what I mean? There's just so many great performances all time. It's tough. It's tough. You could give me a Pacino. I'm thinking of a Pacino, a De Niro, Robert De Niro. Absolutely love the guy. But if I had to give one, I would say I really like Pacino and Scarface. Kind of a random pick, but I really like Pacino and Scarface. Great performance. Very energetic. Worst? There's been I've seen some pretty bad performances recently, I feel like. I would actually say one of the worst that I've ever seen, you guys can call me crazy, is actually going to be Dakota Johnson in Madam Web. I don't know what it is, and absolutely no disrespect to her. I just don't really like Dakota Johnson. No disrespect to her, because great career, right? Good for her. Just not really a fan of her, honestly. And I don't know what it is. I feel like every movie that comes out with her, I'm kind of like, I have a little, my eyes roll a little bit. I'm going to be honest. What movies do you want to watch that came out this year before the year ends? So I'm going to assume that you mean ones that already came out that I've missed, because you said that came out. Let me use Letterboxd quickly, sort by year 2024. Let me hide the movies that I haven't seen. Okay, so I'm looking at ones, the most popular movies that I haven't seen is what I'm looking at right now. I haven't seen, and these aren't the ones that I actually want to see, but haven't seen Longlegs, Maxine, Beetlejuice. I saw the TV Glow, the Mean Girls movie, Kinds of Kindness, Immaculate, Despicable Me 4. I've been pretty much on point, honestly, with seeing movies that I've wanted to see this year. I'm going to say maybe Kinds of Kindness, the Yorgos Lanthimos film. I don't know if you guys are super familiar, but came out like June. It's like 3 hours long. It has Emma Stone in it. I love Emma Stone, probably my favorite actress. And I just haven't gotten around to see it because it's like a 3 hour long watch. Something else came out and I forgot what it was the same weekend as it, so I didn't get to check it out. But Kinds of Kindness is the movie that I'm going to say. Do you like The Godfather? Yes, I do. I've only seen the first one. I have to watch the second one at some point, but yes, I love The Godfather. It's great. Hot take, my favorite Scorsese is, or you're saying, we have a follow-up. Hot take, my favorite Scorsese film is The Wolf of Wall Street. I have a hot take, and I feel like The Wolf of Wall Street's image has been tainted by and I hope you guys understand what I'm saying, but almost like the fraternity bro, finance bro environment that it's been surrounded by. Like all the kids that graduate from college want to be the Wolf of Wall Street, like we want to do like cocaine and like, do all this crazy stuff and make a lot of money and go on yachts. The image of this movie has been ruined to an extent. However, I personally believe maybe that it's the best film of the 2010s. Call me crazy. I think that I just love Scorsese, man. I think he has potentially the best film of the 90s, the 2000s, and the 2010s with Goodfellas, The Departed, and then Wolf of Wall Street. And I loved Killers of the Flower Moon too. Some people don't like a 3.5 hour long history film, but when Scorsese makes it, he just has some type of magic. Favorite Tarantino movie? Very interesting. He's been on the news recently, for those of you that don't know, because he's been making some very stupid comments, to be quite frank. Favorite Tarantino movie? A big hole in his filmography that I haven't seen is going to be, unfortunately, Pulp Fiction. I have not seen Pulp Fiction. However, with that being said, bit of a sleeper that I'm going to throw out there. Call me crazy. I think I like Reservoir Dogs. That might be my favorite film of his. I absolutely love Reservoir Dogs. That's my pick, probably, as of right now. Haven't watched too many of his films, though. Inglourious Basterds I love as well. Do you like Psycho? I have actually never seen Psycho with Norman Bates, unfortunately. My man, but let's take a quick sip. Now listen, fellas. Probably going to be going for about another 5 or 10 minutes. So listen, if you guys have a question that you're willing to ask. You know, we're about to hit the hour mark. I like to keep these relatively short. Probably do another one pretty soon, but if you guys have any more questions, be sure to fire those bad boys in because I would love to answer them. And again, if you guys are watching after the live has ended, thank you guys so much for watching. And also thank you guys just for staying here. I don't know how I haven't thanked you guys like to death up to this point. But yeah, I'm going to go for a couple more minutes here. But, you know, if you guys want to watch it back or whatever, drop a like on it, whatever works, you know, would really appreciate it. My man Slice, dude, let's see what he said. He said, I've only seen Once Upon a Time in Hollywood and Death Proof. Okay. I didn't even like Death Proof, but I love Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I know that Death Proof is sort of like a black sheep of his filmography. I believe that's like 2007 or 2009, I want to say. Death Proof is one that I do need to check out, but I recently watched Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. By recently, I mean just this year for the first time. I gave it like a 4 out of 5. I really, really wanted to love it, but I definitely did really, really like it. But I think if I just rewatch it, I will love it. But I just needed to kind of see it, and then on a second watch, I could deeply process it a bit more, if that makes any sense. I also do polls. My man Neil is just, he's letting us know. He's giving us his shtick, and I feel good for him, man. I mean, you're just promoting the channel, man, and I really wish you the best of it, seriously. I'm excited to see that video, man. Top 100, that's very ambitious, and I salute you for that. I've done long videos, man. It's not easy, so shout out to you. Best MCU villain besides Thanos? Who's up there? Let's just talk. Killmonger, Wenwu, Kang. Hell no. Hell no. Loki? I think I'm going to go with Loki. I like the fact that he's reoccurring. He's always coming back. I really like Loki, and I really, really, really like Killmonger. I feel like Killmonger is one of these villains where people hyped him up for years. Now it's like the cool thing to say, actually, Killmonger wasn't really that good of a villain. But now, I'm going to bring him back, man. I think he's just phenomenal. Interstellar is a must-see in theaters. If you see it in theaters, I'm happy for you. Thank you, man. I'm probably going to go check it out. I know it's the 10th anniversary. Hopefully, I'll go see it. I just saw Whiplash about a month back because it was also the 10th anniversary in theaters. Really good movie. Interesting question. What do you think Sophia's storyline will be in the Batman Part 2? Will she interact with Catwoman? That's what they're trying to set up, I believe. But I'm going to be honest with you, and I don't mean to like kill the vibe here, but I just don't know. I honestly don't know, but that's why I'm so interested. I have no theory. I have nothing to even say. Is she going to get broken out of Arkham? Are we going to go like super comic book? Like we're going to literally break her out with Catwoman and they're going to be like partners or something in crime? Then maybe Sophia will actually team up with Batman. Not like team up like they're going to be, LeBron and Dwayne Wade, but, just team up in the sense that maybe they'll just be kind of on the same side. That would be pretty cool to see, right? Good God, I'm getting thirsty, boys. Is Darth Vader the best villain? I'm going to be honest. I think that at the end of the day, that's a phrase I use way too often. If you guys watch my videos, man, you'll hear me say that every single video multiple times. At the end of the day, I can comfortably say that Darth Vader is the best villain of all time. The thing is, I know that some people will argue the Joker as well, but I just think that Darth Vader is forever. Darth Vader is eternal. I like that Darth Vader also, not that it matters, but isn't really tied to an actor. Darth Vader is this character with a mask who will forever know as just that person. Does that make sense? Like, who Darth Vader looks like. With the Joker, you have Heath Ledger probably as the best rendition, right? But also there's worse versions of the Joker. So it's like, does that bring down the average of the Joker? Don't get me wrong, I like that new people get to play the Joker. And I'm not saying Darth Vader's the best because he wears a mask, but I'm just saying that I think he's the best because there isn't really different versions. People know Darth Vader as Darth Vader. But when you say the Joker, you could be thinking of Mark Hamill's Joker. You could be thinking of this Joker, that Joker. Does that make sense? So I would say Darth Vader, personally. I think he has the edge. Oh, speak of the devil. Thoughts on the Joker being a main villain in the Matt Reeves Batman movie, probably part 3. I don't want to say a hot take, but I honestly don't really care for it. I almost wish that he wasn't teased in the first movie. I wish he wasn't. You know why? And just hear me out on this reason. Let's just say that they wanted to do him in the third movie. Fine. That's perfectly fine. However, once he's in the first film, you've teased him. There is no going back. You can't do takesies, backsies. You can't edit him out of the movie and then re-release the movie. No, that's the movie for the end till the end of time. So now that he's in the Batman Part 2, in that little scene at the end, we know the Joker exists. But let's just say that scene wasn't in there. They have a bit more creative freedom because now it feels like they're kind of just stuck to doing the Joker because they already teased him. But I don't think they needed to tease him. So I'm not really a big fan, though, at the end of the day, because I don't want to say I'm over the Joker, but I feel like we just need to see some new stuff. Is that fair to say? Are we not over the Joker, guys, at this point? We had Heath Ledger. We had Jared Leto. Good God, that was horrible. Joaquin Phoenix was a pretty cool, attempt at the character. I'm just kind of over the Joker, man, personally. But also, Matt Reeves, I trust the guy more than almost any director in Hollywood, so hell yeah. Favorite cameo in Deadpool & Wolverine? Gambit. And not because of the performance. He was the one that just got the most pop out of me. He was the one I was most excited for. When he showed up, oh my God, I was thrilled. I was jumping out of my seat. In my opinion, Homelander is the best villain in media if you take in the no redeeming factors. Understandable. Darth Vader was redeemed, yes. But if he wasn't, then he would definitely be the greatest villain of all time. I understand where you're coming from. I personally, there's 2 different routes, like you just said. I think there's 3 different routes. There's the unredeemable villain on one end. There's the redeemable villain on one end. And then there's sort of the anti-hero that sort of lays in the middle where they're kind of doing good things, they're kind of doing bad things, but they're not really redeeming themselves. It's kind of like they're just constantly going back and forth, back and forth. My favorite, honestly, is a redeeming because of the fact that who doesn't love a happy story? I mean, is that crazy to say? Who doesn't just love when someone's bad and then they just turn good? It's nice. When Darth Vader in Return of the Jedi, arguably my favorite Star Wars moment, looks at Luke getting electrocuted, you see the emotion in his face even though he's just wearing a mask. It's so well done. I love that redeeming factor, honestly. But I understand. How long do you think the Batman 2 should be? The simple answer is however long Matt Reeves thinks the story will take. But to be frank with you, I think it's going to be shorter than 3 hours. I'm going to be real. I think that it's going to be shorter than the original runtime of the first movie because the first movie had a lot of work to do when it came to setting up the film, right? Setting up the world, I should say, right? You have to establish who everybody is. You have to establish Gotham. You have to establish the Iceberg Lounge, establish the police force, right? Now that the first movie did the work, the second movie doesn't have to do as much work setting up the world. The world's been changed, don't get me wrong, because of the fact that there's flooding, there's, all this crazy stuff going on, corruption. But now that it's been set up, I think it allows a half hour to be cut off. We're getting a long movie, but I'm going to say 2.5 hours. If it's shorter than 3 hours, I'm not going to be like, oh my God, this isn't as long as I thought it was going to be with the runtime. No, I think 2.5 is perfectly fine, I should say. Listen, guys, we're going to wrap up here in a minute, but yeah, we're getting pretty close. Yeah, I hate that part of the movie. I actually kind of agree with you, I'm going to be honest. It feels like no Batman project can exist without Joker showing up at some point in some form or fashion. Agreed. I actually hate that part of the movie too. And it's a perfect film to me. I love the film. And I don't really care about it because it's at the very end. It's all right, whatever. But I honestly do kind of hate that part because you didn't need it and it feels like out of place. I'm going to take probably like 3 or 4 more questions and then we'll head off. I think it would be very cool if they made the Joker a Hannibal Lecter type, helping Batman from behind bars instead of the main villain. Yes, I've heard this theory before, potentially. I know that's kind of what they did in that one deleted scene. Yes, that was the deleted scene. I heard about that. I understand what you're saying. I think that would be pretty cool. The only issue is I think the Joker's too big of a character to do that. I think that people will be saying, oh, and keep in mind, when I say people, I'm talking about casual audience members. They'd be like, oh, why was the Joker just in jail the whole time? Even if it serves the story perfectly, they're going to say, oh, we know the Joker. The Joker's so cool. Why was he locked up in jail? Even though that would be awesome to see the connection that Joker and Batman have just talking behind like a pane of glass, like with the Riddler, I don't know. And also, I'm very happy that they cut that scene. I'm very happy they cut it, honestly. I need a water break. Jake, why do you have to break my heart? Do you think Beyond the Spider-Verse will be canceled? No. Nope. And I'm just going to say no because I'm afraid. I'm afraid. Because I don't know what's going on with this movie. This movie was supposed to have like a 9-month turnaround. June 2023, part 1 essentially. March 2024, part 2. Now it's releasing in like 2026, 2027. What happened? What happened? Did something happen? Did the movie get deleted and they had to remake the whole movie? I don't know what they're doing with Spider-Verse Part 2. I don't know why I'm saying, you know what I mean, but Beyond the Spider-Verse, but I don't know what's going on. All right, guys, I'm going to take like 3 more questions and we'll head out. But again, thank you guys so much for being here. What other show would you want to see in the Batman universe? That's a tough one. There aren't too many characters. There's maybe Catwoman. There is Penguin, of course, maybe like a season 2. But I think I'd want to see something with like the police force. I feel like we saw like the whole drug thing that was going on. I'd like to see more corruption on like the legal side, maybe led by like a Jim Gordon, something like that. The police side of things. I think I'm going to take 3 questions. So if you guys have 3 questions, whatever the next 3 questions are after this, we're done. If there even are 3 questions that be had, because quite honestly, I know you guys probably questioned that. Okay, there's 2. So whatever the next question is, that's all. All right, and there we go. How did you react to the end of the Penguin? It broke me. Now, I don't mean to spoil. I'm not going to even really spoil, but when they were sitting on that bench, even though things seemed good, even from the beginning of the conversation, I had this feeling like I know what's coming. I'm going to be honest. I actually didn't think it was Penguin that was going to do it. I thought he was going to get like shot in the back or something. I don't know who it was going to be, but it's just the point. Like I thought they were going to be sitting there and then he was just going to like some gunfire was going to come off and like Penguin jumps. I'm making this up, and like Vic jumps and then, gets hit. But what actually happened was so nightmarish and so much worse. And I'm not saying worse on a storytelling standpoint, but to an extent, it's funny because when I finished the finale, I was like, wow, I really didn't like that. But then I was like, wait a second. I was supposed to not like the finale. I'm supposed to get a bad response out of this. The Penguin is a villain, and I want Batman to literally end him. Like, I want the Batman Part 2 to basically start that way. But yeah. They were working on a GCPD show. I don't know if you remember. Yeah, I heard that, and it got canceled. I know. And we're going to end things, I think, with my man BK. I would love a Harvey Dent show. It would be interesting with Batman actually showing up. My only thing is that I feel like, actually, we'll end with Slice Dude's question. I think that this would be interesting, but I honestly, as big of, a franchise as this is, I think Robert Pattinson is too big of an actor to just show up in a show. And I know that he's in this universe, but I don't think he's going to be like, I want to do shows too, like little shows. I like that it kind of stays with the side characters. We bring in the big boy for the big movie. Does that make sense? Robert Pattinson's in the movies. The side characters are in the shows. You know what I'm saying? Have you seen Outer Banks? That's my last question for the stream. Listen, thank you guys so much for the questions. Thank you so much for being here. But listen, I have not seen Outer Banks, but I'm going to be honest with you. I saw some of like the promotional material for the 4th season, and it kind of piqued my interest. It doesn't look like the best show in the world, It doesn't look like The Sopranos or Breaking Bad. But honestly, it gave me like a little Stranger Things vibe from like the little trailer I watched. I was like, maybe I should check this out. But thank you, Gia. But listen, guys, that's going to just about wrap up this live. I seriously appreciate you guys for being here. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys have a great week. I mean, it's a Sunday, you know. I really hope that you guys just have a great week. I hope you guys, have a great holiday little season if you guys celebrate. And listen, I don't know when my next live is going to be, but thank you so much for always watching. Thank you so much for asking questions. And again, I really appreciate the support. This was a lot of fun. Had a great time. Keep watching movies, fellas. And thank you so much for being here. I'll see you guys.